modern. Very powerful. I mean, I've heard them before, and I was particularly appropriate, and it just resonated really well.
I have a new method of getting their attention. Demonstrate it.
Yeah, it was a little more meditative today. More power. Not that it wasn't powerful. It really resonated. You know, I noticed.
Siete say.
Everybody's really focused.
There we go. I'm learning how to. Mr. Natural sets this up. I just operate.
Well, that's what I was.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I told you I thought the song came on. This goes back to Bob Dylan for you. Come gather around, friends, and I'll tell you a tale. Remember that? When the red iron ore pits, they run plenty. But the cardboard filled windows and old men on the benches. Tell you now that the whole town is empty. On the north end of town, my children are grown. Well, I was raised on the other. Well, between them is war and the word was I know, that's wrong. What's the next word?
I was grown up by.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. So, say the first line.
And I was brought up by my brother.
In the wee hours of youth, my mother took sick, and I was raised up by my brother. The iron ore poured as the years passed the door. Drag lines and shovels, they humming. And the sad silent song made the hour twice as long as I waited for the sun to go sinking. All right, so I got you quiet. Sorry. I missed that verse up. I know the first 4 verses of that song. And then I just get up here and
Tears out of my eyes.
oh yes. Anyway, so let me just see. Isn't it Clyde always coming up here?
Always.
It's always Clyde, and that's always Clyde. So give him a round of applause here. Clyde.
He loves you. That's why he keeps touching you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come on, step right up, folks. Want to grab you off a front row seat before they're gone, or they're going fast. You don't want to miss this. It's time for another exciting installment of the
Clyde Always Show.
With me, you're always clever, always handsome, always charming host, Clyde Always, and ain't no common carnival barker. The Bard of the Lower Hay. And it feels like a Mean Marvin kind of night. So
Mean
this
Marvin.
is the tale of Mean Marvin. Once upon a time, there was a little boy with a scruffy ginger top and freckles all over his face, and his name was Marvin McMenahan, and Marvin was a meanie. He was a downright vicious bully. He loved to smack the other little boys with skateboards and baseball bats, and the little girls, he'd stab them with pencils. He had a whole closet full of assorted knickknacks and bouncy balls and video games that he robbed or lifted from the other kids at school. Marvin was only 10 years old, but he was already the most hated person in his whole town, seeing as how he was such a miserable and sadistic little prick. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, maybe this Marvin kid had a bum deal. Maybe he had abusive parents or something. Unfortunately, I know this was not the case. See, Marvin's mother was a kind and loving homemaker, and Marvin's other mother was a mild-mannered architect. And even they were horrified of their son. They'd often curse under their breath. They'd say, honey, it must have been that lousy sperm donor. But I digress. It so happens that one summer day in a sunny corner of a secluded playground, Marvin was burning assorted insect victims under a magnifying glass. He loved to torture all things that could be described as puny, and most especially those that couldn't easily defend themselves, when all of a sudden out of the bushes came another little boy who Marvin didn't recognize. But he saw right away that the boy was skinny and wispy and weak. So Marvin dropped his magnifying glass, came running up to the kid, grabbed him by the scruff of his neck, and shouted right in his face, "Give me whatever you got, you little runt!" Well, Marvin had employed this tactic many times before, and it always worked perfectly. So you can imagine his surprise when that little boy just stood there, stoic and brave, saying and doing nothing. Marvin raised his fist and growled, "Didn't you hear me, twerp?" You better give me what you got now, or I'm gonna knock all your teeth out and stick them under my pillow. But still, the little boy stood with his shoulders square and his chin held high and did not produce any bubble gum or lunch money. Marvin, roared like a bear, and he stomped his feet, and he cracked his knuckles one by one, and that's when the little boy started to hum. And he hummed the most beautiful song. It started out low, and it built, and it rose to the grandest of crescendos. In fact, it was the most perfect and ingenious musical performance ever delivered here on planet Earth. But the hard heart of Marvin McManahan remained unmoved as his fist plowed right through that little boy's face. And then Marvin looked on in horror as the entirety of that little boy's body disintegrated into a massive, menacing cloud of bugs of all shapes and sizes and colors. Bugs from all over the world. And they swarmed him and bit him and stung him and creepy crawled all over his face and his neck. And Marvin screamed and pleaded and begged for help. Yet through all of his desperate sobs and moans, no one came rushing to his aid, not a soul. Then boom, the bugs all flew off in different directions, and Big Bad Marvin just sat there. He was hugging his knees, and he was sucking his thumb, and he was weeping and blubbering to nobody at all. The next day, Marvin was late for school. But he arrived just in time for show and tell, and he was dragging behind him 2 gigantic black plastic sacks full of all the toys and goodies he'd stolen over the years. And he returned them all one by one with a somber and sincere apology. And then, Big Bad Mean Marvin McManahan, believe it or not, took a seat and sat with folded hands and looked on attentive and polite and pleasant as one of his fellows stepped up to the front of the class for show and tell and said, "Hey guys, check it out, these are my Madagascar hissing cockroaches." And that's when Marvin's underpants went from clean to dirty. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Marvin McManahan, Clyde always! Thank you. It's always the Clyde always. And now I didn't get a chance to give forewarning and forearming because he already has 4 arms, or 2 arms. The other 2 are invisible. Mr. Alan Harris, would you kindly step forward and present yourself presentably, and thank you, David, for everything you do.
Thank you for calling attention to the fact that I'm short.
Or anything we can do to help you out.
Now, Dan, did you say that there's someone in Britain watching us right now?
That's our plan. She said she would do this so she could find out what kind of people. No, do that again because I was blocking it. Oh, does that mean something?
Yeah, it's like flipping someone off in Britain.
Are you British?
No, but I'm an Anglophile, you might say. Okay, just a heads up, there is going to be cursing.
Oh my God! Really?
I got a couple things to say before I read the one thing I want to read. I got a couple of fuck yous. First of all, fuck you to Nate Silver for his 98.9% prediction that Hillary was going to win the election. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't know why people continue to revere him like he's some sort of Nostradamus of the 21st century. He sucks, and we need to stop listening to people like him, and probably just need to turn off MSNBC and CNN anyway. Second, I want to say fuck you to reality, because reality is going to really start sucking, and I'm going to be spending the next 4 years dropping acid and watching reruns of I Dream of Jeannie.
Can I come over?
So yeah, absolutely, Dan.
All right, good.
My set is black and white though.
That's all right. It'll be color when we're in that mood.
Original black and white. So I just want to say, I was going to say we need to look on the bright side, because first of all, one thing that we've come to realize since yesterday is that there is no God. And this is a question that's been plaguing mankind since the beginning of time, whether or not there's a God, and we now know that there is no God. So I think we should. That's one thing. And the other thing is, now that Trump has been elected and he is the president, we know that the end is nigh, that the apocalypse is coming, and there's something very sort of freeing about that, something beautifully but kind of sickly freeing about that. So you can start smoking again. You can eat fried food.
Oh boy.
You can tell your boss to fuck off. I mean, it's because we're not going to be around much longer. So anyway, I just wanted to try to look on the bright side here.
Cover the bases, as it were.
Okay, so anyway, here we go.
All right, the Armageddon.
I am the witness to the filling up of an empty space by an air bubble wielding casualty whose desire to simply be seen is ignored by the spiritually atonal, self-appointed surrogates of the founding fathers who are engaged in a tube-induced competition to see which one of them can claim to love Jesus the most while acting the least like him.
Yeah.
Their increasingly shrill cries of earthly exceptionalism and promises to invade the sun on day one, giving the pro-oblivion hordes a reason to nod in agreement, chuckle at the punchlines of the damned, and... sorry.
It's okay.
And thank God every day for the existence of charlatans whose favorite adjective is apocalyptic and whose idea of a perfect world includes cops who work on commission, fossil fuels which, when burned, make the air smell like cookies, and the kind of patriotism best expressed through the drunken obliteration of a squirrel with an assault rifle while wearing a bikini. A world of compressed objection and selective rationality in which, if your name happens to be Mr. Pre-existing Condition, that you are fucked. And when the purges come, fueled by false equivalency, evil subjectivity, and wave after wave of shell-shocked optimism, you will be left with nothing but the knowledge that corporations are sociopaths, that with a frontal lobe comes responsibility, and that just because you're paranoid, that doesn't mean that people aren't voting for Republicans. Thank you.
Helen Harris! Welcome back! All right. Ella Pickett is coming up next. Do you want to have are you going to sit?
No, I'm going to stand.
You're going to stand? Okay. And then just to let you know, we got Chris first, then Wendy, then Ed, then Garrett, and then hello. And if anybody else has wanted to do this and didn't tell me, it's not too late.
What'd you say? All right, here we go. The first one is called high. E-I.
Keep going. I'm going to raise it a little bit. Keep going.
Reason, able, noonday sun, sun rays, beams, one for everyone, the ultimate me. E-I. Okay.
Thank you.
So moving right along here, I'm trying to work with the theme, edge to ashes. I'm trying.
Thank you.
All right. But howl senses. Groping, feeling, gripping, stealing, a glimpse or two when light shine through. Then reveling, sound, trumpets blew on the raven farm. How true. Taste. How about you? Can you tell us what a peach tastes to you? Slippery rose bushes and tangy too. I smell baby powder sprinkle in the air. When I felt in my heart the truth, straight to my brain, reason came through. Riding on hope, who I must say is explicit and adorable.
Very nice.
All right. And the next one is the memorial. Ask me, I say. I'm just passing through. Don't get too comfortable. Life was grand, is grand, and I got to keep on moving, man. Thank you for keeping me sane, safe, and free. Talking to me, because that's who I see in the end. The new birth, the shining. When I'm presented inside the pure land. How fresh and clear is my understanding. So thank you for being my friend.
There you go.
And the last one is the day in which to be well. They knew all they wanted to do. It tried to look good for everyone but you. Yeah. And they tell you you better bow down, yeah, or else we're gonna take your crown, yeah. Put you on the street and tell you what then? It's all because you ain't obeying what it was we were trying to get you to do, yeah. You know we don't ask much, but we want this because it's gonna give us some bucks, yeah. We don't want to say that, but we know you better act right. A patent dotting day. That's what they say. I don't, but I know I better humble down. I can't be like I can't be a clown. I better not walk with a frown. They done already look me down, up and down, that is. And they say, boy, what? You done been here long enough. We see you tender, but you done got kind of tough. Over the hill and far away. Over the hill and far away, I don't forgot my spot. We want to see you move, get up off that groove thing. Like you the groove one, like you the move one. We want you in our hands. We want control, oh. I say you is, and we not your friend. We sure gonna prove it too. We ain't had to open the door to you. Now you better act right. I say you better be a good dog. Or you know what? We gonna help you be a frog. Jump on out of here. I say you think you're angry now. Boy, you're gonna have some fear. I say you act like you're going to take back your will. I tell you what, I'm the master of the thrill. And you better do what I say, or you will be ill. Thank you.
Hello, Pickett. The house. And keep that applause going. We have Chris First coming up here. The Honorable, Esteemed, and Statuesque.
No, thank you. It has been too long.
It has been too long.
Let me put this up a bit.
There you go.
Thank you. So I just returned recently from a longer trip, and one of the stops I made was in Amsterdam. And they said a sentence in the tour I took, which kind of stuck with me, which was something along the line of we helped transport many slaves, but we never employed any. Like that made everything okay. So that kind of sparked me writing this poem here. Streets made out of cobblestone, and sunlight gleaming in the trees. Birds singing in the morning tune, and boats gliding in the water. If bricks could tell us history, would they speak of an age long gone? Would they say, look at us, we are the foundation of an empire, only now to accommodate your hunger. Lines of canals run through the city like scars run through the history of those colonized. Today you can see only a small glimpse of the past, only to not know what lies underneath the catacombs of blood and gold. Crimson cups of coffee fill the smell in the morning air, no longer the stench of slavery and sweat. We did not employ, but harvest people. Tulips are the lover's kiss, and dams are holding back the tears of those who are long gone. Freedom is a fear no more, as all liberties are accommodated. If only the ocean waves could have brought us linens and tobacco instead of steel and wood. We would have sat on pillows, smoked cigars instead of choking on them. So I feel like this is kind of the summary of everybody's feelings I've heard tonight. In this poem I wrote earlier today out of fear, frustration, anger, but also hope. So we'll see what happens.
Be afraid.
So we'll see. City lights on the horizon, rooftops filled with mushrooms. Not the kind you take, but you get engulfed by. I see so much opportunity and so much more than I can imagine in front of me. My thoughts are floating free, and yet my mind keeps them in. Why is it that self-control can hinder you and not help oneself? Is this what people have today? Self-control? Do we just live in a bubble made out of liberals who want a better tomorrow? We all thought this is not going to happen, but it did. It happened all because we, the people, wanted it to happen. Now I could talk about how one was a liar while the other was a racist, or how actually the popular vote went beyond the bubble we live in, and how the Neil-called electoral vote destroyed that bubble. Or how 78 years ago, my people saw the worst in society. The night of broken glass, burning synagogues to the ground, all because of the following a Führer, all because he wanted to make a country great again. At the same time, my family has seen the best in people. Standing against the wall 27 years ago, today on November 9th, 1989, only to see it crumble in front of them as smashed in a peaceful revolution. Now, one generation later, I have to be afraid a new wall is erected in my new home. But not my verbal anger would not reflect the hallmark of our democracy, a peaceful transfer of power, self-control.
Yeah. Chris first. Thank you. And now, Wendy Walters will come to clean our proverbial palates as only she knows how and can. Give her a nice round as she comes up here, please. Edward, you're next to say your name. And then we got Garrett and Hal. Is that okay? You got it? Let me just frame you in there. Oh, there you are.
Good.
Yeah, that's looking good. So you can look right, Vivi. You can see how kind of how you're framed and like that. That's why I put it that way.
So anyway, I'm very sleepy. I didn't go to bed very early last night. So, but I didn't want to be home by myself. I wanted to be with all of you.
Thank you.
So we could link ourselves together and do whatever each of us need to do to go on. The first thing, so I don't have my poetry tonight, but I have some quotes. And one thing I learned in some support groups, anonymous support groups, and I changed the I to we for the collective of what's going on in the world. But first, a small quote that's anonymous, found on the internet, which gives me hope because of how big the darkness feels and looks, and how small those who remember the light seem in our power. And it goes like this: the greatest oak was once a little nut who held its ground. So maybe someday we'll be the oak. And then the other one was,
Do you want me to hold those for you?
no, I just have two. This is from Rabindranath Tagore. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark.
Someone wants to hear that again.
Okay, this is from Rabindranath Tagore. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark.
You won the Nobel Prize for literature.
Oh, he did. That's right. Thank you for reminding us. Okay, so this is just I hope it's public domain. Oh no, it's not. It's by
all right.
Portia Nelson. I'm glad I realized that.
Well, you're attributing
And
it to
I'm
something.
going to change it from the first person to plural, third person. It's called Autobiography in 5 Chapters. And as I read this poem, as I saw this poem today, I realized it's kind of a collective statement of how, for many years, humans and groups of humans have ignored what's going on and kept falling into the same situation. Autobiography in 5 short chapters. And I'm changing the words. These are not her words. Exactly. We walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. We fall in. We are lost. We are helpless. It isn't our fault. It takes us forever to find a way out. 2nd chapter. We walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. We pretend we don't see it. We fall in again. We can't believe we're in the same place, but it isn't our fault. It takes a long time to get out. 3. We walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. We see it there. We still fall in. It's a habit. Our eyes are open. We know where we are. It is our fault. We get out immediately. 4. We walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. We walk around it. 5. We walk down another street.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought, thank you, Wendy. And now, Mr. Ed, my cue is coming up, and then we got Garrett and Hal. Get these prizes, fine prizes, I'll have you know, designed with your minds in mind.
We have entered the garden of unfamiliar manners, where unacknowledged natures work and wait, work and love, hovering in a mild arc of promise, and flourish like the blood-marked clover. Here are millions of eyes, the stage burst, and piles of colored dust left behind with the lights in the water. We have come to a place that came to meet us, asserting and eroding in this garden of unfamiliar manners.
Oh, yeah. Nice segue.
The mood is indigo, not bleak, sunset orange, for Allison Moxley. Sunset orange is the ocean sloping tonight, and Allison brushes stardust from her shoulders. Some precise calibration of ecstasy bolts out of her brain, and she shouts a gusher of milk as it pinkens with gin and holy ritual dancing. Her cupped hands form a chalice for bluest night. The silver cap on her head that his hair radiates the poser of scissoring thighs, of leaping dancers. Her voice has luster and confers harsh confidence. Yet Allison is the slight wicker coracle above. Daily she threads her passage among the urban islands. Every day is the windjammer cruise into the Everglades. Every day her heart is like the interior of oxen chatter. Every day slopes to night, reddish. Her shoulders shimmer.
Thank you, Ed. That's my cue. We have now Garrett Murphy before Hal, our closer, Semper Closer.
I was supposed to be the mini feature.
Oh, you are the mini feature, but you're also the closing for act, because we don't have anybody after you, as it were. So thank you for correcting me. I sometimes forget everything. Okie dokie.
Now showing at the Theater of the Absurd. The Theater of the Absurd presents a world premiere colossal proportions, the show of the century that awaits all to come and see. An epic the like of which no one has seen before and no one will ever see again. Live and in living color, a spectacle unique among all. Come one, come all, you must experience this gala. You dare not concern yourself about missing this presentation, for indeed you will not miss this presentation. It is impossible to miss this presentation. For you see, you and me and everyone else are part of this presentation. For the audience and the players are all one and the same. For this production, now showing at the Theater of the Absurd, is called Life Itself, yours, mine, and everyone else's. Sailing on the SSUS. So, you wanted to see them profiled, and you wanted to see them scrutinized, and you want them to lose just a little of their liberty, all because you want to be safe. You say it's a minor inconvenience, and you say it can't be all that bad. Just a matter of being careful, and besides, we're all in the same boat. But you relish focusing specifically at them, and then claim this to be the land of the free, and yet to sit still for an exception to that catchphrase while oblivious to non-existent exceptions for you. I fear, my friend, there's more than one boat around here.
Aaron Murphy. Short, sweet, and to the point, always. Thank you. And now our mini feature of the evening, also the country closer super duper bulldozer, Hal Robbins. Dr. Hal, give him a round of applause, please. Man knows what he's doing. He always knows what he's doing. He is never late. He's always on time.
Yeah, there were crowds. I had to fight my way through crowds to get here.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I was late.
They were following him.
There are quite a number of people on the streets, and the streetcar would go no further. So I changed what I was going to do, so I could do this.
All right.
September 1st, 1939, by W.H. Auden.
Wow.
I sit in one of the dives on 52nd Street, uncertain and afraid as the clever hopes expire on a low, dishonest decade. Waves of anger and fear circulate over the bright and darkened lands of the earth, obsessing our private lives. The unmentionable odor of death offends the September night. Accurate scholarship can unearth the whole offense from Luther until now that has driven a culture mad. Find what occurred at Lynn's, what huge imago made a psychopathic god. I and the public know what all school children learn. Those to whom evil is done do evil in return. Exiled, Thucydides knew all that a speech can say about democracy and what dictators do, the elderly rubbish they talk to an apathetic grave, analyzed all in his book. The Enlightenment driven away, the habit-forming pain, mismanagement, and grief. We must suffer them all again. Into this neutral air, where blind skyscrapers use their full height to proclaim the strength of collective man, each language pours its vain competitive excuse. But who can live for long in an euphoric dream? Out of the mirror they stare, imperialism's face and the international wrong. Faces along the bar cling to their average day. The lights must never go out. The music must always play. All the conventions conspire to make this fort assume the furniture of home, lest we should see where we are, lost in a haunted wood, children afraid of the night who have never been happy or good. The windiest militant trash important persons shout is not so crude as our wish. What mad Nijinsky wrote about Diaghilev is true of the normal heart, for the error bred in the bone of each woman and each man craves what it cannot have, not universal love, but to be loved alone. From the conservative dark into the ethical life, the dense commuters come, repeating their morning vow. I will be true to the wife. I'll concentrate more on my work. And helpless governors wake to resume their compulsory game. Who can release them now? Who can reach the deaf? Who can speak for the dumb? All I have is a voice to undo the folded lie, the romantic lie in the brain of the sensual man in the street, and the lie of authority whose buildings grope the sky. There is no such thing as the state, and no one exists alone. Hunger allows no choice to the citizen or the police. We must love one another or die. Defenseless under the night, our world in stupor lies. Yet, dotted everywhere, ironic points of light flash out. Wherever the just exchange their messages, may I, composed like them of eros and of dust, beleaguered by the same negation and despair, show an affirming flame.
Wow. Wendy has it over there. All right. All right. Yes, go ahead quickly. He's going to make an announcement, then I'm going to take care of these fine prizes, just so you know. Oh, you're going to be what? Huh? Oh, I didn't know you were going to read. Okay, so you're next. Okay, I didn't know.
Venting my anger to Donald Trump. You who have further destroyed my world. You who remind me of my Uncle Lou with his cheap toupee and false teeth smile. You who taunt the learned with the bliss of the ignorant. You who mock the women, the disabled, the weak. You with your barbaric, Western idiocy. You with your penile tower. You can't even complete a full sentence. You with your blatant lies and deception. You with rot in your guts, spewing horrors with every breath. You who further destroy my fragile world.
Thank you. All right. David, make sure she puts your name in here so I can have it right when I... And now, a public service announcement before we go to these wonderful magical prizes of ours.
This is a public service announcement.
Thank you.
In the spirit of Dump Trump the Chump, since he said a week ago or less, the last time he said, the whole system's rigged. Well, that means he needs to vacate his hateful skull from office. Right? Because he won, the system's rigged, so he stole it, and he needs to go to jail with Hillary or without her. Get the hell out of there. This is my humble opinion. Looks like nobody agrees, so I guess we'll
You're supporting this. Here.
That's right. I'm inciting us to do right. To do riot. Right. To paraphrase Dan's great book.
Thank you.
Okay, tomorrow somebody help me because I don't know where it is. It's about crushing capitalism. That's not the name of it. It's a great, gigantic poetry event. Does anybody know where it is? I have the flyer at home. I forgot it.
The Beat Museum.
Beat Museum.
At the Beat Museum.
What's the time?
I think about 7.
7 o'clock until question mark.
Yeah.
Jack Foley and a whole bunch of great poets, many of whom you know and have performed here. I'm going to bring my bony ass over there. If I can get there, you can
get there. Thank you. Margot Hart, please. All right, will you kindly shuffle these? Now, when you came in here, you put your name next to a number. I'm going to introduce you to the prizes while we do this. Wildlife from Stephanie Manning. She brought these. These are the poems that are in my 4th book, the upcoming science fiction fantasy extravaganza. These are the poems. This is Anthology, The Visions of the Great Rememberer by Allen Ginsberg. And you said the Great Rememberer is? Kerouac. So there's that. Poetry Magazine. Poets from the Cat. Not really. The Baja Men. And then there's choosing the next week's theme, The Last Word, mini feature, and keynote.
Flyers only in Spanish. If you want a job, 20 to 25 an hour, cash.
They're right there. All right, so
Spanish, learn.
Drum roll, please. Thank you. Oh, I need the sign-in sheet. Where did that go? Oh, thank you.
You only have to work as many hours as you want, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, I was going to be wise about that, but I won't. David Zeltzer, you are the first winner of the evening. Number 12. I drew your card. Any one of these fine prizes is yours.
I'm going to take them flyers.
Oh, so this is poems that I wrote that's going to go in my next book. Wildlife, this. Yes, you may take that. That is yours. Thank you, David. Also, there were the other things, but you know.
The other thing.
Adolf Pickett, you are another winner of the evening. There's a high ratio of people here in prizes, so
good.
Odds.
I want the theme.
Oh, you tell.
Good.
What theme do you want us to have for next week?
Veterans.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I'm going to put that on right now. And I'm going to write down that you suggested it so I don't forget. Thank you, Adolf. We like it every day. Owen Dunkel. Mr. Owen Dunkel, come on up here. Take something. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or any one of those. Oh, we already did the theme. Where's the theme? There we go.
I'll take the keynote.
Keynote from Owen Dunkel. Thank you. And the next card here. Einund Swansea. Hal Robbins. Dr. Robbins. So any of these fine? Wildlife. There you go. And David Erdereich.
For sale.
So these 3 are those for whichever is yours.
I can't make it for next week. So this is yours?
That's me, yes. Thank you so much. So when the new book comes out, almost all of those will be in it, maybe with little tweaks, but I figured, I printed it out, why should I throw it in the trash? Richard Sander L.
Ariane?
I pass.
Pass. I pass too.
I pass, Jack, tell you.
Garrett Murphy is in the house. So you have a couple of books, The Baja Men or those 3 things. They say.
I apologize.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. Owen. I know. Clyde always. Doggone it. Where the heck are you? Clyde always Clyde. So you got these 2 and those 2. All right, there he goes. Thank you so much. Chris, Did he go? Oh, there he is. Chris first.
It's rigged.
Yeah, I know. What's your number?
And I don't know.
What's your number? Oh,
It's my number?
oh, wait a minute.
Can you give me a drink first?
Oh, no, wait a minute. It's 14. It's you.
What is it?
Make up my mind, Dan.
Yeah, well, oh, yeah, take what you want. But you have these two. All right.
What's the last word?
This means you absolutely go last. Mini feature, you come on the second half, you get 8 minutes.
I'll take the mini.
Okay, we got the mini feature. Alan Harris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
Remember what I said earlier on. Don't forget that because I will.
What's that?
Comical man.
I can't remember. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Edward, my cue. Do you want the last word or he's not here? All right. All right. So,
Hey.
we are done.
Hey.
You did it.
I didn't win nothing.
I'll give you something. Anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We'll be at the same bat time, same bat station. Don't tune in without us. Don't tune out within us. We can get it on watch.
Come on now. Why don't you want to work, you motherfucker?
See, on watch, look, see?
So you're hoping that people will come from Britain to
They'll
pass
come
these
all they
flyers
want.
out here for $20 or $25?
That's all right.
See?
You're not going to get paid to hand out these flyers, but you know what?
See?
I ain't going to tell you nothing
There
about
you
it
go.
because you ain't interested enough to me to waste my precious.
What was your answer?
The 100th anniversary of the Dadaist movement is Friday.
I knew it. I knew it.
Want to do it right?
I think
All right, one more
For all
announcement,
who are
please.
still here, the 11th of November, they used to call it Armistice Day,
Friday.
is the 100th anniversary of the Dadaist movement, which was begun in response to the excesses of the Great War for Civilization, as they used to call it.
As they used to call it.
And then they called it World War I because there was another Great War
After that one.
after that one, and then there's the endless war that we have now. Anyway, City Lights Books has been sponsoring a whole week of Dadaist-related events, which should culminate on that Friday. Just to throw that in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hal Robbins. Did you want to say something?
Well, I could, but okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll say something real quick.
Somebody drop dead.
Somebody you'll want to
Oh, my goodness.
tomorrow at the Burnham
All right,
Heights
thank you.
Senior Center, which is
Yeah, I
on
was sitting
Cortlandt
right
Street,
there.
right across
Okay.
from the
All right.
Green Life Grocery or some kind of Good Life Grocery or Gasmic place, is a holistic, free, completely free holistic practitioner from 9 to 11 a.m. So if you're hurting for certain or if you think you're hurting, come on over there. Look, it's free. What do you want for nothing in a free country?
9 to 11 a.m.
I'm going to be there, damn it.
Dan, is that a book of your poetry there?
Yes, it is. I have different ones. So, thank you.
Do you self-publish or?
Yeah, these are like print-on-demand things. So we can. You'll be here next week, right?
Yeah.
I'll have these or these little order sheets and like that. So I have these so you can look at them and like that because I haven't ordered. These are the only ones that I have left right now. But you order them and they send them to you like that. This company. Create Space. Create Space, one word. Is there are a lot of advantages to using them, and I'll tell you that for
Create
sure.
Space, so I assume they have